Most times when someone is hosting a party and we're invited to it, maybe it's for a big holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas, or it could be like smaller gatherings like getting together for a football game, or even just like a birthday, graduation party, even a backyard picnic, barbecue, or just a last minute get together. What question that usually comes up? What can I bring, right? Usually people ask, what can you bring? And of course, the host will ask different people different things to bring so that everything is covered, right? So somebody's going to bring some beverages or desserts or side dishes or snacks or even ice. You name it, so a good party will have it all. And each person contributes something unique. After all, it wouldn't be much of a party if everybody brought the same thing, would it? Or is there a case in which we're supposed to do precisely that? Each supposed to bring exactly the same thing. Think about that for a minute. You probably know the answer. Today, we gather to celebrate the solemnity of the Virgin Mary, Mother of God, a day on which we remember, give thanks for, and ask for the prayers of the Blessed Mother under the title, Mother of God. In the early church, there was much disagreement about who Jesus was and is. And so at the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD, the church declared that that title, Mother of God, was appropriate for Mary. And in doing so, they affirmed two things. First is that Mary indeed did give birth to Jesus. And second, that Jesus indeed is God, the second person of the Blessed Trinity. And to say that Mary's life was remarkable is an understatement. It was a one-of-a-kind life, and the way she lived out her life did nothing short of changing the world. And yet there seems to be a simplicity about Mary, a certain kind of focus, a certain kind of humility and openness that allowed her to say yes to God, not just that one time, but throughout her entire life. She was giving in and saying yes to God. It's as if God kept on inviting Mary to a certain way of living, a certain way of life, a generous, trusting, loving kind of life. And she was willing to give whatever he was asking for. She was willing to bring whatever it was God was asking her to bring to her corner of the world. And then one day, one incredible day, he asked her through the angel Gabriel to bear a son, the Messiah, the living God who was about to visit his people. And we know Mary's answer, and we know how the story ultimately unfolds. And in a very real sense, Mary gifted the whole world by saying yes, bringing the incarnate God to a world desperately in need of him and his saving love. Are we not also supposed to do the same? Sometimes we might think that our lives are so radically different than Mary's. And in many ways they are, because after all, she did live a very long time ago. However, her life was not different in every way, certainly not in the most important ways, the ways to make the difference in our lives and the lives of others, the ways that change hearts and families and nations, the world. You see, if life in general is a party, if life is a celebration and a manifestation of God's great love and creative power, then Mary was asked to bring the one thing, the only thing to that party, and that was God. And she did in the fullest way possible. So the question is, so what do we bring to this party? Do we try to do the variety pack of assorted things? Maybe we want to bring cynicism, judgment, negativity, hopelessness, sadness, greed, anger, mistrust. What exactly are we bringing in response to God's invitation? What are we bringing to God's people? It's funny how we usually bring different things to the same gathering, yet the exact opposite is true in the spiritual life. In a sense, we are all at different and unique parties. We all run in different circles. And we all find ourselves encountering different people and different situations in our own little corner of the world. And yet, like Mary, we are all simply asked to bring one thing to all circumstances and situations. That one thing is actually one person. To bring Jesus, to bring Emmanuel, to bring God with and within us. Of course, the precise way we bring God to others, the way that we show them the face of God as best we can, does depend on our own unique strengths, our own unique weaknesses, our own individual personalities and such. But the gift is the same, and the world can never have too much of it. We can never have too much of God, and that means that we can never have too much mercy, love, kindness, generosity, because that's simply not possible. And so, we begin another year. So what is it that we are going to bring this year to every place we go? Let's say yes to God. Let's say yes to his holy invitation, an invitation not unlike the one that God gave Mary long ago. And we don't have to ask the question of God. We already know what God wants us to bring, or rather whom to bring. But let's look to Mary to show us how. Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.